everybody and welcome to week 4 of lockdown 2. So this is our last week in lockdown and I'm very happy to be starting back in class this coming Wednesday, the 2nd of December. So I have sent out messages to you all, so you should all have heard from me by now about which weeks you're coming in, which group you're in. So I will look forward to seeing you all very soon. We've got a couple of weeks before we break for Christmas. So enjoy today's class and I'll see you all soon. Hi everybody and welcome to your intermediate Pilates class. Please make sure you've got all your equipment ready. We'll get started standing tall, your legs and your feet at hip distance, your hip sockets down to your feet, and just check there that your toes are pointing forward. So have a look down and check that your feet aren't turning out to the side. So your toes are forward, you know then that your hips are in the right place. Relaxing your shoulders. As always, we're starting with focus on breath. So we're just going to take some time to settle into the breathing. And please don't skip this bit out because the breathing is a really important part of what we're working with in Pilates. So please take your time to just settle into the breathing. So just closing your eyes to help you focus. And if you prefer, we're just going to take the hands, wrap them around the base of your ribcage. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. And again, deep breath in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. So as you're breathing, really feel for where your breath's coming from. Remember, we're not breathing down into your abdomen or up into your chest, but wide and full into your ribcage. And by placing the hands here, it just allows you to feel for that movement through the ribcage and making sure you are getting your breathing just right. So this is the breathing that we need with all your Pilates movements, working with these wide, full breaths to get the oxygen around your body into your muscles so that they can move and work in the right way. We're also using the breath for relaxation. So every time you breathe out, you feel that you're relaxing a bit further each time. As you're breathing, you'll make your connection now into the deep lying abdominals, starting that contraction through your pelvic floor. We're taking a breath in. So you breathe out to join up on your pelvic floor, bringing your connection then up into the deep lying abdominals, feeling that you're engaging into that whole corset of muscle wrapping around you, and those muscles connecting directly into your spine. And this is why they are so important for your spine and your lower back. So make sure you are working with those muscles in your day-to-day, walking, standing, sitting, checking that you have got them switched on. So maintain that hold, staying with your breath. Ready now to check through your posture. We're starting with your head and your neck. Always feeling your way into your neck posture. So you need to feel for that stretch at the back of your neck. You're feeling for the lengthening up from your crown. Your chin needs to be parallel with the floor, and invariably your chin needs to be lower than you think it needs to be. We're now gently lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. We're then rolling your shoulders back. We're sliding your shoulder blades down your back and holding them there. So checking out, can you really feel that connection into your mid-back? We're moving away from rounded shoulder posture. Remembering these muscles are essential for good posture. So really try and get into the habit of feeling for them in your day-to-day. And probably about the best way to feel for them is through your chest stretch. We're going to take that now. So your arms behind your back are interlacing your fingers. If you're not doing this one already in your day-to-day, start bringing it in, because not only does it stretch out what tend to be tight muscles for all of us to some degree over the fronts of the shoulders, it also really helps you to reset and to recheck your posture. So just go ahead and take that chest stretch now. And when you're taking the stretch, make sure you've got your ribcage drawn right down, because if you haven't got your ribs drawn down, the tendency when you draw your shoulders back is for this to happen. So make sure the ribs are drawing down, keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands, and that's where you need to be on your shoulder girdle posture. It probably still feels exaggerated and it probably will always feel exaggerated. And I think this is why it's important that we're all taking the chest stretch regularly in our day-to-day, because you wouldn't ordinarily place your shoulders this far back. But in taking the chest stretch, it really reminds you about where your shoulders should be, and they'll probably always need to be further back than you think they need to be. So making that check then on the hands, it's little fingers running down the seams of your trousers. So in your day-to-day, just keep an eye on where your hands are, making sure you're not here. If your hands are here, you're rounding through the shoulders basically. You're inwardly rotating your shoulders. So your hands will always indicate where your shoulders are. So make sure you have got them, little fingers running down the seams of your trousers, and you know then that your shoulders are in the right place. We're now checking on the curve to your lower back. We're settling into your neutral spine. We're taking a tilt of your pelvis forward. We're then tilting back, and from there we're settling into the centre. Remembering, if your tendency is to arch your lower back, you will need to exaggerate it up under. It does need to feel really exaggerated. So it needs to feel like you're really pushing your hips forward, and you also need to scoop your lower abdominals into your spine. So remembering, the lower abdominals there, your more superficial layer, and the more superficial abdominals are concerned with flexion of the spine, and that's what you're trying to do now for your lumbar spine. You're taking it from extension into flexion, and in order to do that, the lower abdominals need to kick in and do the work. So it does need to feel like hard work basically. Really scooping lower abs in and making that connection into the glutes. Now working down to your legs, remembering to take that softness through the knees. So checking now, are you locking out your knees? If you are, you're locking out your lower back as well. So always keeping that softness through the knees. And working down to your feet and checking there, is your body weight equal into both legs and feet? So really feel your weight now underneath your feet. Are you equally balanced? We'll take your gentle sway from side to side. So just feel your weight shifting now from one foot to the other. We're slowly then coming to settle back into the centre. And once you're there, again, just check your weight into your feet. Are you equally balanced? So this is really quite a simple check to make that can make a really big difference. Remembering, if you're putting more weight down one leg than the other, that is going to directly affect your pelvis. And we're always working for a level, stable pelvis. So if you're putting more weight down one leg than the other, your pelvis basically is going to be off. It's going to be out of its neutral alignment. And if your pelvis is out of neutral, your lower back is as well. So we're always working for that level, stable pelvis, not just in your Pilates exercises, but in your day-to-day as well. So always just check your weight into your feet. Don't forget, when you're sitting, you need to check your weight into your feet, and you need to check your weight underneath you into your sit bones, making sure you're not putting more weight down one cheek than the other. So equal weight distribution underneath you when you're sitting. We're going back to the hook attached to your crown. So imagine you're being pulled and pulled and pulled up by the hook. So you're just feeling yourself getting taller and taller. And remembering, you can't get too tall. We're constantly working on lengthening out your spine, always being as tall as you can be. So maintaining your posture, just focusing back now on your Pilates breathing. You're engaging into your deep lying abdominals, and we're going to take some movement now through the shoulders. So on your next breath in, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Blowing out, rolling your shoulders, shoulder blades down your back, and continuing with your movement. So as you're working, just stay closely focused now on what's happening through your midsection. So as you're making this movement wider and wider with the arms, make sure there's no movement to your spine. So imagine you're looking at yourself now sideways on, and you shouldn't be seeing any change in shape to your spine. So the only movement coming from your shoulders and your arms and nowhere else. So making sure you don't allow this. So as you're taking your arms up, you need to draw your rib cage down, making sure the ribs don't come along with the arms. So arms are going up, the rib cage is drawing down. When you're ready, we're going to move this into balance. So opening your eyes, fixing your gaze. It's a bend through the knees. Breathe in, sweeping the arms up, gently lifting the heels. Breathe out, drawing the shoulders back, taking the heels down. And we're continuing there. So really focus on what's happening underneath your feet. Try and stabilise through your big toes. Try not to roll onto the outside of your feet. And it is important that you're feeling for that correct movement pattern through your feet. So the next time you're walking, make sure you are tracking that straight line from your big toe to your heel. And it's all about your body weight distribution. So it's all about your body weight coming down through the skeleton, basically, down into the pelvis, down into the knees, the ankles and the feet, in just the right place so that you don't overload your joints and your muscles. If you're ready to now, we're going to move this to foot pedals, and we did recap on this one last week. And this is all about maintaining stability for the pelvis. So we breathe in and lift the heels and lift the arms. Breathe out, take a bend through the left knee, right heel goes down. Breathing in, lift up your heels, lift up your arms. Breathing out to change. So I think last week I did mention that if you had a mirror at home, a full-length mirror that you could practice this one in front of, then that gives you immediate feedback as to what's happening to your pelvis, and you can see if you're maintaining that horizontal line from hip to hip. And please just be aware about how you're walking, so just carry on with that. When you're walking, so in your day-to-day when you're walking, you don't want the pelvis to move. So you don't want this kind of movement happening when you're walking. Sorry, I thought I'd switched my phone off. You don't want that kind of movement happening when you're walking. So when you're walking, you want your pelvis to stay stable, and you would just go ahead then and move through your legs and your feet. Always working for a stable pelvis. We'll make this one your last one, so we'll finish off with a bend through the left knee. No, I think we started on that one. Bend through the right knee. Please just make sure it's the opposite to the one you started on. I do sometimes get a bit confused because I'm in a mirror image to you, your mirror image to me. So I get a bit confused sometimes with my left and my right when I'm telling you what you need to do. So back to start position and shaking it all out. So ankles and the feet to shake. Back to posture, back to chest stretch, arms behind you, back interlacing the fingers. Keeping your shoulders where they are, releasing your hands, and ready now to move on to your neck. So we're coming into nods, and before you start moving, just visualise those vertebrae in your neck. And what you're aiming to do is to stack them directly one over the next, being careful not to push back too far. So you're remembering you need your push back with the lengthening up from the crown, those two movements at the same time. So when you're ready, each your breath in. As you breathe out, so nodding the chin down towards your chest. Holding there to breathe in. Your two movements now in one. As you breathe out, you're pushing into the back of your neck and you're lengthening up from the crown of your head at the same time. And we're continuing there. So make sure you're stacking those vertebrae directly one over the next. So always be mindful how you're moving your neck. And if you know that you do tend to be stiff around your neck, please try and do these exercises every day, preferably a couple of times a day. Really, really important that you're keeping that mobility, that movement going through those vertebrae. We'll make this one now your last one. Slowly back up, shoulders relaxed. Ready now for some rotation through your neck. So we're going to turn your head from side to side. You need to make sure your shoulders stay facing forwards. And remembering, if you're restricted in your rotational movement to your neck, your upper mid-back will start to kick in. The spine always compensates for lack of movement. The body will always compensate for lack of movement. So if you don't have enough rotational movement to your neck to turn your head, then your upper mid-back will kick in order for you to be able to turn your head to where you want to look. So be really aware of that. Make sure the shoulders stay facing forwards and you are just getting the rotation through the neck. So chins parallel with the floor. We're taking a breath in. So you breathe out slowly, carefully, turn your head to your left, to your furthest point. Once you get there, just ease your right shoulder back. Breathe in, come into centre. Breathe out, roll over to the other side. Once you're there, just ease that left shoulder back. Breathe in and come into centre. We're going to do one more to each side. So again, just ease that right shoulder back. Slowly back to centre and to the other side. So there will be many times in your day where you're going to be turning your head. And it's important that you're able to take that movement safely. Those vertebrae are prepared for that movement. The muscles around the vertebrae are prepared for the movement. So back to centre, rolling the shoulders round. If you're feeling you need to take an upper trap stretch now, please go ahead and do that. Coming to stand at the end of your mat or behind your mat. And if you haven't already taken your flat back stretch today, please pause me now. Go and do, excuse me, go and do your flat back stretch and come back when you've done it. Before you start moving, really get the focus on your abdominals now. So you're going to work the muscles at the front of your body, the back's just going to come along. So it's full pelvic tilt, you're sweeping your arms to your spine, a deep breath in. So you breathe out, we're nodding the chin. Slowly rolling your head down the front of your body. Be careful that you don't lean forward. Arms in your head just hanging, just dripping down to the floor. Coming down to your furthest point. Holding here now to take a deep breath in and really hard work with your abdominals. As you breathe out, you need to push your hips forward, pushing your knees forward, and you need to make sure now that you're scooping in, not just your lower, but your mid and your upper abdominals there as well. Slowly back up, shoulders, your neck, your head, back up to standing. Do the same thing again, so full pelvic tilt, scoop your arms in. Breath in as you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling your head down. And again, this time when you're coming back up, stay really closely focused on what's happening to your abdominals. And making sure you're scooping in from the pubic bone all the way up to the base of your rib cage. This one now, your last one. So this time we're rolling down, we're just staying there, we're just hanging the spine. So once you're there, it's a gentle turn your head now side to side. We're checking that your neck is relaxed, but then allowing your head to just hang down to the floor. So the weight of the head drawing down the spine, and really good for your spine to just hang. So we're going to stay here now for a few more breaths. Really try and relax into the posture. If you need to bring over your blue block for some height, please do that. So you're back to centre, and if you're ready now, we'll move this into a gentle sway. Taking a breath in as you breathe out, swaying forward into your toes, slowly back into your heels, and just gently there, forward and back. So we're using this now to help release any tension to your neck, to your shoulders, to your lower back. And remembering we do have parts of the spine that tend to get compressed, particularly your lower back and your neck. So this movement works really well to just start to gently open out those vertebrae. So this one, your last one. Your back to your start position, just check your weight into your feet. Keeping your chin tucked in, we're going to walk your hands forward down to your mat. Knees are coming down one at a time. We're in tall forwards position. So just checking your setup once you're there. Wrists under shoulders, your knees under your hips. Check in with your shoulders, where are they? So try and get into the habit of always checking in with your shoulders. So remembering very often when your body is holding tension, you don't always realise you're holding that tension until you let it go. So awareness is really, really important so that you can really feel for what's happening in your body. And you might think that you're not holding tension, but actually if you really think about creating more space between your shoulders and your ears, very often you'll find that you can get more space. You are able to bring the shoulders down further. So always make that check. So drawing your shoulder blades down your back, drawing your shoulders down, join up on pelvic floor, ready now for downward dog stretch. So breathe in, we're tucking the toes under. As you breathe out, we're pushing up with your hips, so just hanging down to the floor. Then taking your feet a little bit further back, we're now bringing a real deep bend into your knees. So draw your knees towards your chest. We're drawing your chest towards your knees, and with your knees very bent, your challenge there is to see how high you can push your hips up towards the ceiling. So remembering to start with this exercise, we're not working on stretching out the legs. We're working on stretching out the spine. So really try and get your knees to your chest. Try and get your chest to your knees so that you can really focus on getting the stretch into the spine. So try and visualise the lower back and really see that you're creating more space between those lumbar vertebrae. Ready now to move on, breathe in, come up to your toes. We'll take your feet a few inches further back, drawing up on your pelvic floor and ready for foot pedals. So we're taking a breath in, as you breathe out, taking a bend through the right knee, as you aim your left heel down towards the floor. Breathe in, you're up to your toes, breathe out to change. So starting this pedal movement through the ankles and the feet, working at your own pace. So as always with this one, make sure you're not working too quickly. If you're working too quickly, you'll tend to get more of a half stretch on your calf. So really take your time to ease the heel down towards the floor to get your full stretch. So we're using this to warm up your calves, to stretch out your calves, warming up your thighs, mobilising your ankles, your feet, your toes. So this one, your last one, we're going to finish with a bend through that left knee. Breathe in, up to your toes, your heels are lifted. Without lowering your heels out, easing your hips up towards the ceiling. So the stretch on the hamstrings goes upwards. Breath in, breathe out, taking the heels down. And again, breathe in, up to toes, heels are lifted. Breathe out, easing the hips up. Breath in, breathe out, taking the heels down. Got one more. So really good stretch for your body. Ready now to release, breathe in, you're up to your toes, drawing upper pelvic floor. So you breathe out, put your weight forwards over the arms, bending your knees. Slowly lowering down, well done. Once you're there, we're resting, so right back down onto your heels, stretching the arms out and releasing your wrists, your palms up, your palms down. So please just take some time now for you to do whatever you feel you need to do to release your hands, your wrists, your fingers after that last movement. So you might feel that you want to rotate your wrists, you might want to massage your hands, massage your wrists. Whatever you feel you need to do, then please just do that. And then when you're ready, bring your palms back to the mat and ready to release your shoulders. You might prefer some support underneath your forehead. Bring the arms around, your fingers touching the heels. When you're ready, just allow your arms then to relax to your sides with your palms up. We'll take a stretch over the wrists, a breath in. As you breathe out, kind of the palms up towards your head. Breathe in to release. And again, breathe out, kind of the palms up. Breathe in to release. Just stay here to take two more. Really good stretch for your wrists. That your last one, relaxing your hands, relaxing your wrists. And then I'll take the arms out a little bit wider. And we're just taking some time to relax into the posture. If you don't feel very comfortable in that position, your alternative is to lower down to your forearms with your forehead just resting on your hands. So we're just focusing back on Pilates breath. A deep breath in, blowing out. So as you're breathing, checking that your shoulders are completely relaxed. If your shoulders don't feel completely relaxed in that position, please adjust the placement of your arms until they do. We're checking out for any remaining areas of tension. So just scanning from your head to your feet. And if you're finding any, just allowing those areas to relax. So remember to take your body scan in your day to day, scanning from your head to your feet, checking for any areas of tension. So if you find any, you can go ahead then and release that tension before it starts to build up in your body. Ready now to stretch out your chest, your shoulders, Taking the arms behind your backwards, facing your fingers, rolling right up onto the top of your head, stretching your arms up. So we eventually go for straight arms. If you're not very comfortable in that position, coming up into kneeling, just doing your stretch in kneeling instead. That was your last one. Releasing your arms. Bring the arms around, so pushing back up to all fours. So we're just going to take some time here to set up. So again, check in with your shoulders. Where are they? Can you create more space between your shoulders and your ears? Drawing your shoulder blades down your back. You need to feel for the placement of your neck. So feel for the stretch at the back, lengthening up to the crown, slight tuck in of your chin. And then just double check your placement by checking your line of vision. And that should be exactly midway between your hands. So we're just going to take some time now to focus on your spine. Mobilising the spine and working to help release any remaining areas of tension down your back. So closing your eyes, visualising your lower back, and this is really small, lower abdominals only doing the work. Your breath in to prepare. So you breathe out using your lower abdominals, just pulling your tail forwards, and breathe in to go back to neutral spine. And again, breathe out, you're pulling the tail forward. Breathe in to go back to neutral spine. So we're going to stay here to take a few of these movements, working at your own pace. So don't let this go into your mid-back just yet. Once you're sure you've got your lower back moving, we'll bring this up into the full cat stretch. And be careful with this one. Make sure you don't start by pushing up into your mid-back. That's particularly important for you if you've got osteopenia or osteoporosis, where you think more about using the abdominals. So when you're ready, taking your breath in. So you breathe out, you're pulling the tail forward, you're drawing the head towards the tail. So drawing the two now closer and closer in towards each other. Make sure you've drawn your head as close to your tail as you can. Holding here to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're sitting back towards your heels, stretching out your back, your head just hanging to the floor. Make sure you don't lose on your abdominals. Breath in. As you breathe out, you slowly back up, so keeping that scooping in. Breath in. As you breathe out, you're lowering down, you're pushing through the tail. Head back in line with the spine, shoulders relax, shoulder blades engage. We're doing the same thing again from the base of your spine. Breath in. As you breathe out, you're pulling the tail forward, drawing the head towards the tail. And again, drawing the two closer and closer in towards each other. Breath in. As you breathe out, you're sitting back towards your heels, stretching out your back. Breath in. As you breathe out, you slowly back up, so keeping that scooping in. Breath in. As you breathe out, you're lowering down, pushing through the tail. Head back into line with the spine, shoulders relax, shoulder blades engage. We're going to stay here to take one more of this movement, working at your own pace. So really good spine mobility exercise. Really good movement for helping to release any remaining areas of tension down your back. So we're coming back then to your neutral spine, and from here we're going to come up to standing to work some quad strengthening. So basically working the fronts of your thighs. So we're going to come up into standing and work your standing squat. If you don't particularly like that exercise, then your alternatives are your hanging squat, your knee hinges, or all fours knee hovers. So we're going to bring over the squashy ball. Excuse me a second, I'm just going to put my glasses on. So, make sure you've got your squashy ball. Rolling that over to your mat just in front of your knees. So we're going to tuck the toes under, walking your hands to your knees, pushing up onto your toes, rolling the ball down to your toes, walking your hands to your toes, pushing down to the heels, knees are bent, head just hanging to the floor. So from there, we're just going to lightly scoop up the ball with your hands. Ready to work hard with the abdominals to come to standing. Breath in. As you breathe out, push your hips forward, push your knees forward. Work really hard with the abdominals. slowly uncurling your spine, coming up to standing. And we're just going to roll down now far enough to place the ball between your knees. So full pelvic tilt, breath in as you breathe out, slowly roll down, just place the ball between the knees and then slowly come back up again. So if you prefer to change the position of the ball slightly, please feel free to do that. So if you would prefer the ball to be higher up or even lower down, please go ahead and do that. So we're basically using the ball to help align the legs in the movement. So there's two parts to this movement, your hip hinge, then your knee bend. We're just going to recap on those. If you haven't done this one before with me, please stay standing looking at the screen. So one hand in front of the pelvis, one hand behind, so you can feel for what's happening through the spine, and you don't want any movement to your spine, so be careful that you don't do this. You don't want to flex the spine at all. So we're aiming to maintain neutral, check on the shoulders, and be careful when you go into the hip hinge that you don't do this and look ahead. So make sure your line of vision is down towards the floor so that your neck stays in alignment with the rest of your spine. So when you're ready, we're drawing up our pelvic floor into deep lying abdominals, taking your breath in, and as you breathe out, we're just going to hinge forward from the hips. You're looking down at the floor, you will feel like you're sticking your bottom out. Breath in, and as you breathe out, you're slowing back up. And again, breath in as you breathe out, hinging forward. Diagonal line, crown of your head to your tail. Breath in as you breathe out, back up. Please just stay standing a second, have a look at me now. Make sure you're not doing this. Make sure you're not coming to a flat back, it's not a flat back. So you do need to be diagonal from the crown of your head to your tail. You need to think about keeping the shoulders high. So that's your first part. Now we're going into the knee bend. Breath in as you breathe out, hip hinge first. Then as your knee bend, you sit down to the squat. Diagonal crown of your head to your tail. Focus down on your glutes, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, use your glutes to push down through the heels and to push you back up. And again, breath in as you breathe out, hip hinge. Knee bend into the squat. Breath in as you breathe out, use your glutes. Slowly coming back up. Okay. So if you're sure you're okay with that, it feels okay, then please go ahead and come into the full movement with me. If you're not sure whether you've got that movement right or not, and obviously I'm not there at the moment to check you. If you're not sure about this one, please don't do it. Go into one of your alternatives, one that you're comfortable with, one that you know feels right for you. Please don't push on ahead with this one if it doesn't feel right. So arms will be relaxed to your sides, ready for taking the arms up. So breath in as you breathe out, hip hinge, knee bend into the squat, you float your arms up. Make sure you're looking down towards the floor. Breath in as you breathe out, you're coming up, your arms are going down. And again, breath in as you breathe out, hip hinge, knee bend into the squat. Breath in as you breathe out, you're coming up, your arms are going down. So everything between your arms and your legs staying perfectly still. And really try and get that nice and deep down into the squat. As you're working, if you can feel a pull on your calf muscles, your heels are starting to lift away from the floor, or they want to lift away from the floor, please take that ball away. Take your feet out wider and continue with the feet out wider. So if that's you, you also need to start taking a regular stretch on your calf muscles. That one. So try and incorporate that into your day to day. So just continue with the movement, and if that's challenging you enough, then please just stay with that. If you're ready to, we're going to move on, and we'll take it nice and slowly, and I'll coach you through your breathing. So just try and focus, because I know it can be quite challenging to get the breathing and the movement right. So make sure you've got your core engaged. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, hip hinge, knee bend, you come into your squat. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, roll forward now onto your toes. Breathe in, we're going to lower your right heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. Breathe in to lower the left heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. Breathe in, both heels go down. Breathe out, use your glutes, use your quads, push back up. That should be feeling quite a bit stronger than the movement up and down we've just done. Do the same thing again. Breath in. So you breathe out, hip hinge, knee bend into the squat. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, roll forwards onto your toes. Stay there. Breathe in, lower the right heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring that heel back up. Breathe in, lower the left heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. Breathe in, both heels go down. Breathe out, you're pushing back up. So what can you feel now on your quads? On your scale of 0 to 10, your perceived exertion here, what can you feel? So 0 being you can't feel anything, 10 being it's really strong, what can you feel on your quads just now? We're going to do another set. Breath in as you breathe out, hip hinge, knee bend into the squat. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, roll forwards onto your toes. Breathe in to lower the right heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. Breathe in to lower the left heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. Breathe in, both heels down. Breathe out, pushing back up. Is that feeling strong for you on your quads? If it's really, really strong, you might want to go back to the movement up and down now. Otherwise, we're going to do one more set. Breath in as you breathe out, sit down into your squat. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, roll forward onto your toes. Breathe in to lower the right heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. Breathe in to lower the left heel down an inch. Breathe out to bring it back up. This time we're going to hold it here. Try and take the arms further back. Keep holding it. You can do this. You've done it in class before. You can do this. Get your arms back as far as you can. What can you feel there now on your quads? Is it creeping up to 9, 10 even? So for this last one, if you're ready to, we're going to come back up to standing with your heels lifted. So give it a go, see how you go. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Push, push, push back up. Go up to standing, lower the heels, arms come down. Well done everyone. How did you get on? Were you able to do that balance at the end? So when you're ready, taking the ball away, placing it off to your side, and we'll just shake it all out. Do whatever you feel your body needs here to release. So you might want to take some movement through the shoulders, through the neck, whatever you feel you need to do, please just do that. So be guided by what your body needs. So we're going to take this now to a standing quad stretch. We're going to balance on your right leg. If you really do need to hold on, then please hold on. Balancing on the right leg, bend through the left knee. Reaching around, taking a hold on the front of the foot. And when you're taking this stretch, you need to be careful that you're not just standing and holding your foot. So you really need to think about how you're stretching just now. So be careful that you're not here. So you don't want that knee forward of the other knee. You want the knees to be aligned, so you want them to be level. So really thinking about drawing the foot and drawing the leg back. And as you're doing that, also think about lengthening and lifting up the breastbone. So if you go back to your start position, and then with me, just draw the leg back, lift up the breastbone, lengthen up to the crown. Make sure you're squeezing that glute. So a little bit of practice here on balance. But the main thing is that you're getting the stretch. That on your last one, release that leg, just pedal out your feet. And again, do whatever you feel you need to do. And then when you're ready, changing over, bouncing on the left leg. Bend through the right knee, reaching around, taking a hold on the front of your foot. Once you're there, check your setup, make sure you're not here. Take a breath in, as you breathe out, draw that leg back, lift up the breastbone, draw your shoulders back as well, lengthen up to the crown and really squeeze that right glute. So hopefully you're feeling a stretch over the front of that thigh, front of the hip. That on your last one, so releasing that leg. And again, just pedaling out your feet, roll the shoulders round. Back to your start position, chest stretch. Ready now to do your dart in standing. If you prefer to do your dart lying down, please go ahead and do it lying down. I did do it in lying down on last week's video, so if you want to go back to last week's video and find it, please do that. I have got an add-on as well, actually, for the dart in lying down, if you wanted to click into that. So we're going to do it in standing today. So back to the hands facing forwards, shoulders are relaxed, the ribs are drawing down. This is where you need to really maintain focus, because when you do this one in standing, the tendency can be to do this as you draw your shoulders back. So you need to work hard on drawing the rib cage down and keep the spine stable as you're working. So make sure you've got the placement for the neck. Focus is on here, the mid-back. Taking a breath in to prepare. So you breathe out, you're drawing your shoulder blades in towards each other. Then drawing your shoulders back as far as you can. Drawing the shoulder blades even closer in towards each other. And breathe in to go back to your start position. And again, breathe out, you're drawing the shoulder blades in, you're drawing your shoulders back. Shoulder blades closer in towards each other. Breathe in to go back to your start position. So we're going to stay here to take a good few of these movements. And when you're taking this movement in standing, you really do need to work hard on maintaining your posture. You don't have to do that in lying down. So when you're doing it in lying down, you can really go ahead and just focus on getting the work into those muscles in the mid-back. But it's really whichever exercise gives you the most effective exercise, whether you do it standing or lying down. In class we do try and mix it up, so we'll do 1 week standing, 1 week lying down, and I always say to you, it's up to you which position you want to take, standing, kneeling or lying down. So most of you will tell me that it feels stronger for you doing it in standing, so probably about 90% of you will tell me it feels stronger for you in standing. 10% of you will say to me it feels stronger for you lying down. Personally for me, it feels stronger lying down. So you really ideally want to go for the exercise in which you feel that it's strong. So although I can feel the muscles working here in standing, it is stronger for me doing this in lying down. And you'll also feel in lying down that I can draw my shoulder blades even further down my back, and that's really, really difficult for me to try and do here and maintain my posture at the same time. So this is a good one to do. It's obviously one of your 5 days. It's a good one to do day to day because you're in standing, so hopefully it's easier for you to do it standing than it is lying down as part of your 5 a day. It's easy for you to just fit it in. So make this one your last one. So in your last one, if you're ready, into a hold. So drawing the shoulder blades in, we're drawing your shoulders back, and as you're drawing your shoulders back, also try and draw your shoulder blades right down your back. And your last one, back to your start position, well done, shaking it all out, roll the shoulders round. We're going to take a mid-back stretch now to help release the mid-back after that movement. So interlace the fingers, make sure you don't lean forward with this stretch. The tendency is to do that. So make sure you get your full pelvic tilt, don't lean forward. Breath in as you breathe out, you're pushing into your back, you're pushing into your hands. Keep on pushing into your back, keep on pushing into your hands. That's your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, you slowly back up, well done. Back up to standing, roll the shoulders round. So we're going to move on now to some balance. We're going back, we're going to revisit the half moon posture, and we did this a couple of weeks ago. Excuse me whilst I roll away my mat. So you might prefer to do the same. I don't want to work on my mat for this one because it's a really challenging balance. And if you have a yoga block handy, then you might want to bring that out. I know that Mary from my Monday night and my Friday morning class has actually ordered a yoga block or a yoga brick, I think, especially for this posture. So well done, Mary, and I hope it goes well tonight. Let me know how you get on. So we are going to be so just to recap, it's this balance where we go further and further over to the side, and we're aiming for those strong lines through the body. So, and we're aiming to hold it. So if you need some support, have that handy to your side so that you can use it to lean on, okay? So just placing the block where you think you're going to need it. So standing tall, engaging the core. So just easing over to your side, taking the left arm up and reaching for your block if you need it. So we are working here on opening out the hips. I'm going to work with a pointed toe. So stretching the arm up, holding it here, breathe into the stretch. Really stretch right up through this left arm, hand, fingers, fingertips. And ready to release. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly coming back, well done. Back to your start position, roll the shoulders round. How did you get on with that? Supporting leg works really hard on that one. So you might well be feeling it into the mid glutes on your right side after that exercise. And when you're ready to now, we're going to change over. So going straight into the other side. So facing forwards, we're taking a breath in. You're just turning this left foot out slightly. So breath in as you breathe out, just ease over into your balance. Might be trickier on one side than the other. So lifting the arm up and really working on opening out the hip here, stretching right up through arm, hand, fingers, fingertips. So neck's in alignment. If you feel that you don't need your block, then please, she says, please go ahead and work without. And please let me know if you can actually as well, because I don't know anybody as yet that has worked without the block. So ready to release, breath in as you breathe out, slowly coming back, well done. Roll the shoulders round, so really challenging balance, really good work on the mid glute there as well, back to your start position. And just placing the block off to your side. So we're going to roll down now. Coming back to downward dog. We're then going to go into split dog and your tricep push-up if you're ready to. So just make sure you've got your mat in position. So it's full pelvic tilt. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're nodding the chin, it's slowly rolling down. Just hanging your spine. So keep your chin tucked in. We're going to walk your hands forward to your mat. Taking the feet now quite a few inches further back. We'll start with downward dog. So breathe in, you're coming up to your toes. Breathe out, taking the heels down. And again, breathe in up to toes. Breathe out, taking the heels down. So this time, up to your toes, lifting your right leg into your split dog. And if you're ready to now into your push-up, so breath in as you breathe out, bring your weight forward, elbows go back, aim to be horizontal, crown of the head to the foot. Breath in as you breathe out, push right back up and stretch. Slowly bring the foot down, both heels go down, full downward dog. Breathing up to toes, breathe out, lifting your left leg, squeeze that left glute. Breath in as you breathe out, take your weight forward, elbows go back, lowering down. Breath in as you breathe out, push right back up and stretch. Slowly bring the foot down, both heels down, full downward dog. Breathing up to toes, breathing out, lifting your right leg. Squeeze that right glute, really push the toes up into the ceiling. Breath in as you breathe out, bring your weight forward. Make sure your elbows going back, not out to the side. Breath in as you breathe out, push right back up and stretch. Slowly bring the foot down, both heels down, full downward dog. Breathe in up to toes, breathe out, lift your left leg, squeeze that glute. Breath in as you breathe out, take your weight forward, elbows going back. Breath in, as you breathe out, push right back up and stretch. Slowly bring the foot down. Both heels down, full downward dog. This is your last one. You're up to toes. Breath in as you breathe out, lifting your right leg. So really squeeze that right glute and push the toes right up into the ceiling. Breath in as you breathe out, bring your weight forward, elbows going back. Breath in as you breathe out, push right back up. This time we're holding it. Push the toes up into the ceiling. Bend through the right knee, ready to open out the hip. Breath in as you breathe out, turn your hip out to your right. Push that right knee up towards the ceiling, join the head underneath your right arm. And if you're ready to now, push up even higher as you're pushing back, increasing that stretch on the supporting leg. Slowly bring the pelvis back, re-extend the leg. Foot comes down, both heels go down, full downward dog. Breathing up to toes, breathing out, lifting your left leg. Really squeeze that left glute, push the left toes up into the ceiling. Breath in as you breathe out, take your weight forward, elbows going back. Breath in as you breathe out, push right back up and stretch, push your toes up into the ceiling and bend them to the left knee. Ready to turn out. Breath in as you breathe out, turn the left knee out. Draw the head underneath the left arm. Push that left knee up towards the ceiling. Slowly bring the pelvis back. Re-extend the leg, the foot comes down. Both heels down, full downward dog. Breathing up to toes, draw up on your pelvic floor. So you breathe out, body weight forwards over the arms, bending the knees. Slowly lowering down, well done everyone. Right back onto your heels. Stretching the arms out, releasing your wrists. Your palms up, your palms down. So really strong exercise, that one. Very good weight bearing work for the upper body. Very good core strength work. Stretching out the front of the hip, opening out the front of the hip. So take your time to release your hands, you wrist, your fingers after the movement. Bring your palms back to the mat. And taking a release to the shoulders, bring the arms around, fingers touching the heels. And now your arms behind your back, insulating the fingers, stretching your arms up, rolling right up onto the top of your head, or coming up to kneeling. That your last one, releasing your arms. Bring the arms around, so pushing back up to all fours. Bring your knees off to the side and around to the front, so you're sitting facing the front. And we're going to pop up now onto our blue blocks. So taking a hold of your block, sitting up onto that, and we're going to take some rotation out for the spine. Please make sure your spine is upright. Don't continue in seated if your spine's flexed at all. If that's you, please come up to kneeling or up to standing and do it in kneeling or standing instead. So remember, when you've taken this movement, we're aiming to get the deep spine extensors in the mid-back doing the work. So your neck needs to basically follow the rest of the spine. The crown of the head and the tail, they stay directly over each other all the way through. So make sure you don't move your neck independently of the rest of your spine. So placing the right hand to your side, left hand onto that side of your right thigh. Just take that lift up now of your breastbone to encourage extension and don't move your neck. So you want your nose to be directly over your breastbone all the way through. We're leading with the right hand, taking a breath in as you breathe out. We're walking the right hand around. Make sure you don't move your neck and just take that round as far as your spine wants to go. And I really love these rotational movements for the spine. And they're so important as well for the health of your spine. We're going to rewind. No, that's not what I want to say. Anyway, we're going to come back towards the front slightly. So, I've got just a brain block over this. Anyway, you know what I mean. Taking a breath in as you breathe out, slowly coming back towards the front a couple of inches. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly take it around again, don't move your neck. unwinding, not rewinding, unwinding is what I wanted to say. So breath in as you breathe out, unwind towards the front is your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly rotating around to your furthest point. And then we get to that furthest point, just consciously relax off your left leg, lift up your breastbone, and if you're ready to now, we are going to turn your head, so rotating the neck, turning your head as if to look behind you, and if you feel you can rotate around even further, please go ahead and do that. It's so important that we're all taking regular rotational movement for the spine. So rotation really helps to keep the spine mobile. This one, your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly coming back to your start position. Lift up your breastbone, place the left hand, place the right hand. Don't move your neck. Breath in as you breathe out, walking the left hand around. You might be feeling a difference from one side to the other, so you might be able to go around further on one side than the other, just noticing that difference. Ready to unwind. Breath in as you breathe out, come back towards the front a couple of inches. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly walking around. So the aim here is that you're going round a little bit further every time if your spine is ready to. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly back towards the front. This is your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly walking the hands around to your furthest point. And now just relax off that right leg, lift up your breastbone. And if you're ready to, we're going to turn the head as if to look behind you. So rotation here through the full length of the spine. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly come back, all the way back to your start position, well done. We're going to take the block away now, so one hand down, the other hand taking the block away, placing it off to your side. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the side, hands come underneath the knees like so. Shoulders are relaxed, so we're going into spine release now, taking a deep breath in. So you breathe out, trying to allow your legs to completely relax. So just focus on your breathing, and as you're breathing, if you're ready to move on, we're going to walk the hands down the legs towards the feet, aiming eventually to take a hold of your feet. If you're ready to move on, we're going to take the feet a bit further away from you one at a time. Ease them further forward into that posture. You're ready from there, taking the feet further away again. Ease them further forward into the posture. So think about folding yourself in half. So this is a release for the spine, the lower back. You might be getting a stretch into other areas as well, and if you are, that's absolutely fine. So if you're tight into the inner thighs, for example, outer thighs, back to the hips, you might be getting a stretch into those areas as well. Ready to release, breath in as you breathe out, pushing into your back, uncurling your spine, up to sitting. Feet on the floor now with your knees bent. So we're coming into lying down, and you will need your squashy ball for abdominal strength. And today we're going to work the variation of coming into an ab curl with the feet on the ball. If you know you've got problems with your neck, or by taking an ab curl you'll start to create tension around your neck, please go for another one of our Pilates abdominal exercises. There are quite a few add-ons up there for abs, so if you don't like this one, please just click into one of them instead. Remember, the main thing always is that you're getting an effective exercise without bothering your neck, without bothering your lower back, and really targeting the abdominals. So if you prefer to do your seated, that's fine. You can work with the ball behind you, use the ball for support. So if you prefer to do that, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, you want your ball down towards your feet, because you're going to pick it up with the feet. So just have the ball handy, and if you need any head support, please have that ready at the top of your mat. We're coming down now towards the end of your mat, and it's up to you. If you want to stretch out your legs to roll down, you can do that. Otherwise, feet on the floor, knees bent, arms are parallel, or crossed or lifted. So small tilt on the pelvis. Breath in as you breathe out, you're slowly rolling down using the strength of your abdominals to press your spine down to the mat. So your spine goes down, your head goes down, and once you're there, arms up over your head, stretching your legs out in front. So your full body stretch, reaching the fingers away, reaching your toes away. So we're just taking some time now to relax into this posture. A deep breath in, blowing out. So as you're breathing, just allowing your lower back to arch up a little bit higher into passive extension if that's comfortable for you. If it doesn't feel very comfortable, please engage your core. Slide the heels into you one at a time. So your feet on the floor, your knees are bent. As you're breathing, we're just allowing your ribcage to open out. Allowing your abdominals to relax. Relaxing off your midsection. When you feel that that's relaxed, try and relax it even further. You might need to find a different place now for your arms for you to feel more comfortable in that posture. So placing your arms wherever is most comfortable for you. We're now relaxing off your hips, relaxing off your legs. So just allowing your legs to be relaxed and heavy. We're checking in for any remaining areas of tension from your head to your feet. And if you're finding any, just allowing those areas to relax. Before you start moving, re-engaging your core, slowly bring your arms down, sliding the heels into you one at a time. We're now hugging one knee into your chest, followed by the other, rolling the knees in and back, and again, rolling the knees in and back. If you're ready, we'll take that to hamstring stretch while hugging the knees in. Stretching up your legs, taking out on calves or heels. Breath in as you breathe out, easing legs in towards you and back. And again, easing legs in and back. If you know that you're able to take your legs over your head, that's where we're going now, into plough posture. So arms to your side, your palms are down. Taking a breath in. As you breathe out, you're pushing down with your arms, pushing up with the hips, feet on the floor behind you, if you can. Holding here to breathe in. And as you breathe out, very slowly, carefully, controlling the whole movement to your abdominals. Back to your start position, bending your knees, your feet to the floor one at a time. And now take your arms out, wide to your sides. Ankles and knees together. Breath in as you breathe out, your knees come over to your right. You're turning your head to your left. Breath in as you breathe out, drum legs, spine, head back to centre. Breath in, breathing out, so over to the other side. Breath in as you breathe out, drum legs, spine, head, back to centre. So we're moving on now to abdominals. So if you're working with me, you want your ball down towards your feet. If not, feel free to take any of your other Pilates abs exercises. So join up on your pelvic floor into deep lying abdominals. Just reach for the ball with one foot and bring it over. You're now imprinting the lower back into the floor and placing the second foot onto the ball. And just you placing your feet onto the ball will be challenging your core strength. So please make sure you've got that connection to your core throughout. And if you lose it, please bring your feet back to the floor and you will do exactly the same movement with your feet on the floor. With the feet on the floor, the ball goes between the knees. Apart from that, it's exactly the same movement. So hands behind your head to support your head. Lengthen up from the crown, slight tuck in of your chin. So draw up and down your pelvic floor, scoop your belly button to your spine. Breath in as you breathe out, curling up, reaching forward. Hands behind the backs of the knees or the thighs. Just going to come back a little bit. So make sure you've got placement for the neck. We're taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, just stretching up one leg. Breathe in to bend the knee. Breathe out to change. So every time you stretch your leg up, really focus on drawing the shoulders right up to meet the big toe. So pulling the shoulders right up to meet the big toe. If you're ready to move on, as you stretch the leg up, we're going to roll the ball away with the other foot, bring it back in and change over. And the aim there as you roll the ball away with the other foot is that hopefully you're able to get higher up in your curl. You're ready to move on. You push the ball away, you extend both legs. Slowly draw back in, roll the ball into you. Breath in as you breathe out, stretch. Breath in as you breathe out, draw the ball in. And really try and curl up as high as you can. So really draw the chest or the shoulders right up to meet the big toes. You should be feeling this is really challenging your upper abdominals, and it is the more superficial abdominals we're targeting here in particular. The core will be working as well. Making this one your last one. So stretching up your legs, just hold it. Try and pull the shoulders even closer towards the toes. Like your last one, bending your knees, feet on the ball, one hand behind the head. Slowly rolling down, and the feet come to the floor one at a time. Well done. Rolling the ball away. Hugging your right knee into your chest side and the left heel away from you. So just hug that in. And if you're ready, left arm goes out wide to your side, right hand onto the inside of the right knee. Breath in as you breathe out, just ease that hip open, making sure the pelvis stays stable, so make sure you're not lifting the back of the left hip away from the mat. That's your last one. Slowly bring it back, slide the left foot in, right foot to the floor, changing over. So hugging the left knee into you, sliding the right heel away. Right arm out to the side, left hand onto the inside of the left knee. Breath in as you breathe out, so working on opening out the hip. And your last one, draw that back in. Sliding the right foot in, left foot to the floor. And now stretching out the back of the hip, lifting up the right leg, left hand onto the outside of the right knee. Straightening out your left leg. Breath in as you breathe out, your leg goes over to your left, you're turning your head to your right. And your last one, breath in. As you breathe out, slowly on the spine, the leg, the head. Back to your start position, left foot to the right foot to the floor side and left heel in. Lifting the left leg, right hand onto the outside of the left knee. Straightening out your right leg. Breath in as you breathe out, your leg goes over to your right. You're turning your head to your left. Your last one, breath in. As you breathe out, slowly roll on the spine, the leg, the head. Back to your start position, left foot to the floor side and the right heel in. Arms out wide to your sides, ankles and knees together. Choosing which side you're going to bring your legs over to. Breath in as you breathe out, knees over to the side. Bring the arm and head over to the same side as your knees. So rolling over to all fours. Wrists under shoulders, your knees under your hips. So we're tucking the toes under, walking your hands to your knees, pushing up onto your toes, walking your hands to your toes, pushing down through the heels, knees are bent, head's just hanging to the floor. Check you've got hip distance down your feet. Ready to work really hard with your abdominals. Breath in as you breathe out, push your hips forward, push your knees forward. Slowly, slowly uncurling your spine, right up to standing. And once you're there, checking through your posture, so just check your shoulders are down, they're away from your ears. Have a look down at your feet. Check you've got your hip distance. Toes are forward. Remember that softness through the knees. Switching on your core. Chest stretch, arms behind you, back interlace the fingers. Keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands. Try and get really tall out from your crown. 2 more inches onto the height of your spine. And a few deep breaths with your arms. Taking a deep breath in, taking the arms up. And blowing out. And again, deep breath in. Blowing out. And last one, deep breath in. And blowing out. Thank you very much, everybody. Well done for today's session. So looking forward to seeing you all back in class very soon. So see you all soon, and bye for now.